Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. Today's video, as you can tell by that deliciously clickbaity title, Rangers is closing in on our 13th signing of the summer, but it's not all undone just there. It's not just a transfer video. We have a couple of little topics to discuss, and obviously we have the people's question of the episode. For the people, by the people, all the peoples. And yeah, that's it. If you don't mind smashing the like button, that'd be absolutely tremendous. And if you're new to the channel, if you don't mind subscribing as well, helps the nation grow as we want to get to 55k. And let's just jump into today's video, shall we? 3, 2, 1. Rangers are closing in on their 13th sign of the summer by the name of Grezda. He's a 23-year-old right winger that can play right, left and just in behind the striker. So a very versatile player. He's known for being very quick. He's actually 6 foot as well, so I made a mistake there. But you made one in subscribing, so we're even. He's 6 foot, so he fits the Gerrard mould in terms of physicality. He's known for having a fair bit of pace, but his biggest attribute, and one of the ones that I could find on when I was searching everywhere and looking at their fans reports and all that stuff, is his actual crossing ability. And before we dive any deeper into this guy, we need to take a wee step back and realise the club that we're actually going to be signing him from. So that's all. It's actually Ozilyak. Yeah, remember them? Yeah, he's a lovely guy, lovely guy. Not only did we pump them out of the Europa League, we ended up signing their captain from them, and now we've took arguably their best player according to their fans. And that's just tremendous. And yeah, just shout out to their manager. I'm sure he's having a great time. There he is. Lovely. Lovely guy. Upon looking around and even talking to my brother in blue, Sharp Div, there's actually been some comments from Ozilyak fans talking about this guy's delivery, and that's his biggest asset to his game. They're saying if you love BB's delivery, which is absolutely immaculate, you will be in love with this guy because it's arguably better. Which I think is absolutely brilliant because it adds a new dimension to the game. Because I think if you always have the midfield players cutting inside all the time, trying to create chances, like shooting a wee tap passes, it can become predictable. But the fact that he's got that crossing ability, that's going to constantly put the defender taking a wee step back in case he just takes a little dip and whips it in the box. Yes, he can cut inside and create havoc there, but more importantly, he can just run out wide and cross it a lot like Glenn Middleton and put a special cross into the box. So yeah, that's all I know from now. The rumoured fee is around about £2 million, but again, you'll get all this sort of stuff thrown about saying 2.5, 2.2 with this and that, and then 4 weeks later Gerrard will come out and say we played 1.5. It's the norm if you're actually a Rangers fan. I think this transfer, if it goes through, which is looking very likely, will be the final nail in the Jordan Jones to Rangers coffin, which I know so many are going to be disappointed in. I've seen the comment section, and even me at the start of the season before we saw what Gerrard wanted, I wanted Jordan Jones. Everyone wanted Jordan Jones, and I'm sure he'd be actually cheaper than what we're probably paying out for this guy, because this guy's got high potential and they absolutely love him over in that league. But I think under Gerrard's playstyle, this guy fits more of the mould than Jordan Jones does, because Jones does not like tracking back as much, apparently. I've heard from some Kilmarnock fans in the comment section. I think that's probably why we've went elsewhere. And not only sort of killing off the potential Jordan Jones deal, but also killing off the ridiculous rumour that was just swirling around about Ryan Gauld to Rangers on loan with an option to buy. Yeah, that's right. You know Ryan Gauld, the man that's constantly linked with a loan to option to buy in Football Manager and in FIFA, who is always our first signing. Yeah, remember him? Yeah. I don't think that was happening, okay? That one's dead. But that's actually me done with story number 1, wrapped up in a neat little bow. How do you feel about this one? Do you agree with the decision to go ahead and grab this guy? Now, if you're wondering, no, we did not manage to play against him because he was actually injured when we did play Ozilyak, so we haven't seen from eye to eye what he's like. But I've seen highlights and everything like that, but everyone knows where I kind of stand with highlights. But the stats, the way the people speak about him, is very highly rated. And yeah, I just want to know your opinions because I know so many are going to be disappointed with Jordan Jones. Do you agree with this transfer? Make sure you let me know in the comment section below, because that is what I asked Twitter. And I will be jumping there in just a few seconds before we have a sponsor break though, because I'm thirsty, okay, and it's very warm in here. 3, 2, 1, sponsor break! That was awkward, I ran out of juice. I had like a mini half mil. So I've asked you, the people, to let me know in the comment section below. On Twitter, we've got 1,479 votes. That's absolutely tremendous. That is also the like target to beat. By the way, we've been really slacking on the like button lately. We've been beaten by Twitter the last 5 videos. What's going on? Who's not smashing it? Is it you? Don't be you. Don't be that guy. Or girl. Or other. 30% votes for no, they do not agree with the decision to sign Grezda, but 87% of the people on Twitter votes for yes, they agree. So let's see what a lot of people's got to say. Sharpdev actually puts in, says, 3 full seasons in the top flight of Croatian football, very highly rated from their fans, and an international player. Good relationship with Barisic. It's all looking good. Shout out to Sharpdev himself. I will actually throw his link in the description as well. The old brother in blue. Blue Brock Stars. What a segue that was. He says, in Gerrard we trust. Ian McDougall says, if we progress on Thursday, which I think we will, then we will need a larger squad as we will fight on all 4 fronts. It's a good decision to bring in the man to replace Murphs. Fill the gaps with a quality signing. Judging by Ozil Jack's fans' reactions, this is a quality signing. Red Cat says, can he play centre-back? No. Roy Let's Go says, yeah, need another cover there, but we also need a centre-back as well. Rampant Ryan Jack says, don't know who he is, but if he's better than Murphy, then that is a deal and a half. And I can understand why you want to have someone better than Murphy, but I think Murphy's actually a pretty good player. He's obviously got a very serious injury, so this guy will be coming to plug that gap in. And I think Murphy will come back fighting, so I'm actually hoping this guy does absolutely so well. So Murphy's sitting there, he's looking, he's seeing what this guy's done. So when Murphy does come back, Kenzie needs to grit his teeth and work his ass off to get back into the squad. That would be the dream scenario. Bear from the North says, never heard of him. That 3 million fee sounds inflated due to it, but time will tell. This will probably be a lot less and will be an honest pro, just like Barisic. Jordan Smith says yes, as Murphy is injured. Ricky Forbes says it's an absolute no-brainer. If you don't win the title, it will be because of these things 100%. Tav's defending. Wingers not being good enough. Creative midfield players missing from the squad. Apart from that, we are absolutely on the right track. And I think Ricky actually opens up another branch of questions. I'm just going to ask you, are you comfortable with the squad now if we bring in Grezda to challenge for 55? Are you? Are you? And the last two that I'll actually read out come from Deaky Neil says, badly needed cover at centre back for Katic and Goldson, but this boy's a tricky, pacey winger, 2 million odd. Smooth transition. I messed up when reading it. He said 2 million odd is a bit steep now to get a centre back, and Gerrard we trust though. Jamie Mackay says when we will get through to the league stage, we will need a few players to make this squad as strong as possible. Winger, midfield player that can play in multiple areas, and another defender. So you can see there, as happy as the Rangers fans are on Twitter, they're craving the centre back, and they're actually craving a couple of more signings. So I'd be very interested if you could jump on the back of that and let me know. Now it's time to jump to story number 2, and it's actually a pretty happy story. It's sort of coming in 2 parts. It's about Alfredo Morelos, the Buffalo. That's right, he's a Buffalo, so somebody will sing it in the comments, I always know. It's actually about Alfredo Morelos has actually been called up to play for Colombia. Now, if you follow Morelos on Twitter and everything like, you've heard his interviews, this is something he's been crying out for, and I'm sure when he heard the news, he just almost done a backflip. Honestly, he might have punched someone. This will honestly mean the world to Alfredo Morelos, and it's absolutely due because of his recent form. Now, we could talk about last season, and everyone was frustrated just like myself, and I've said a lot of things about Alfredo Morelos, but this season, under Gerrard, under this new manager, it looks like there's been a line drawn, and they're going to go ahead and attack it. And from the games that I've seen, obviously barring the one where he got sent off incorrectly, Alfredo Morelos has been very vital to the way that Gerrard plays, so I've got to give him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully you are too. And listen, we've got our number 9 playing international football for a team as good as Colombia. That just spells excellence. But that is not all when it comes to Alfredo Morelos. There is news that Rangers will be offering him a bumper new deal. Now, this was obviously discussed about 3 or 4 weeks ago with Steven Gerrard himself saying they're looking to offer a new deal. That looks like it's taken steps further forward, and it's going to be a very big pay rise apparently, because if you think about it, he already signed a deal last year to sort of increase, I think he's under contract to 2024, but now it looks like Rangers want to reward his recent form with a huge pay rise. And that one, I'm just going to take a wee step back and just say, let's calm down a wee bit. And the reason I actually say that is last year he got a new contract and he absolutely fell off the boil and just fell apart. This one, am I saying his recent form doesn't deserve a new contract? Absolutely not. He's been brilliant. Honestly, brilliant. But it's only been 3 or 4 games now. He's still tied to 2024. So I'd like us to actually take the Tottenham approach with this one just a little bit and just calm down a little bit and let them play 3 or 4, 5 months good performances. Then you reward them with a big bumper contract. And again, that's absolutely not a diss on Alfredo Morelos at all. That's just my mindset. I think as well as he's playing, the guy's still contracted to 2024 anyway. I don't think he's the type of guy that'll kick up sticks behind the scenes wanting more money. So I'd want to see him prove it a wee bit more consistency. Maybe a performance against Celtic. Then you can think about rewarding him with a bigger pay rise. And yeah, that's just my thoughts on that one. I'm sure it's going to annoy a couple of these, but again, I'm just trying to give you my honest opinions, and that is what I want from you in the comments comment section below. How do you feel about Alfredo Morelos getting his international call-up? And do you agree with the decision to bump up his wages based on the last 3 or 4 games? Gerard's in love with him, and Gerard we trust. So now we've actually reached the third and final part of today's episode. That's right, it's sad face, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The roundup is almost done. And as always, we leave the roundup open for the people to fire in their opinion. And it comes from Billy K in today's episode, asking me and asking thee. He said, if Steven Gerrard, the former England and Liverpool captain / legend, is jealous of Ryan Jack's skills, why isn't Jack in the Scotland squad? Is McLeish also jealous? And I think that's absolutely fantastic. Now, I was thinking about maybe doing a video on this alone, because I just think the decision's disgusting. I think if you look at the games, Jack has been a massive, massive player for Rangers this season. You can hate him if you're an Aberdeen fan, you can hate him if that. But Scotland, you're wanting the best players there, and Art McLeish is absolutely shat the bed. Picking someone like Jack Hendry, I'm just using him as an example, I'm not just picking him out because he's a Celtic player. But, as from speaking to Ryan118, and like the charity match, Jack Henry's actually the worst player, and he doesn't want him anywhere near the Old Firm game. So how the hell is he getting picked for the likes of Scotland when our best players, I know they're different positions, but our best players aren't? That just confuses me, and that's my thoughts on it. I think it's a horrible, horrible decision. Scotland, new manager, same mistakes, picking people on names, picking people out of form instead of picking the boys that's on form. I mean, we must be the only nation, and honestly, if we continue doing this crap, we didn't deserve to qualify for nothing, because we make the same mistakes and we didn't learn from them. And shout out to Billy K wording the question like that, because obviously Gerard knows what it takes to play for his country, and obviously captain the club as well. So if he can see that, why can't McLeish? And I think that's a brilliant question. So shout out to Billy K for making it into this episode's question of the week. I've been CJNovo92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.